So for anybody that's sat on the fence thinking, should I become a tattoo artist, shouldn't I? Sometimes you're struggling with early lessons. It can sometimes be a little bit disheartening if you're looking at your work and think, fucking hell, them lines are not perfect, or that bit of shading is not quite there or as good as what I want it. Well, we've got a bit of a treat for you today. One of my students that has been through the entire course, he'd never held a machine, so he's learned through Tattoo Method Pro. For the past 2 years, he's had his own studio open. The work has been really good, but same in this industry, it's not always just about your work, it's about the business and marketing. So for the past 2 years, he's been getting by, but he's never been more than 2 weeks booked up in front. That's a bit of a problem for me, so he reached out to me and I put him on my mentorship program, which is a 14-week mentorship, and the results that he's got has been absolutely crazy. So we're going to go over to see Phil in Sheffield right now. So I suppose best place to start is, what made you want to become a tattoo artist in first place?
I always wanted to do it, but just thought that I'd never be able to do it. Like, we're having a family and a mortgage and everything else. You just want an option to go down the normal traditional route of an apprenticeship kind of thing.
From maybe like an artistic point of view, were you always into drawing? Obviously you've got tattoos yourself, is that what inspired you? But what made you think, actually I want to do tattooing as a job?
Yeah, so art is the only thing I can ever do. Like, I can't do anything else.
Shit at everything.
Shit at everything else. When it comes down to art, that's the only thing I do. So I just thought, the only thing that can make you money is tattooing. Like, any kind of art doesn't make you money until you die after that, innit? So tattooing was the one that I wanted to go down. But obviously, with your life, with your family and everything, it just wasn't the option.
I can't stress to you how important it is following a curriculum and something that's structured. So many people jump about on YouTube or even in a traditional apprenticeship where there's no set out course to actually follow and they're just jumping about. Let's listen to how following a day by day progressive learning affected Phil. So I think for anybody wanting to learn how to tattoo, I always say, look, you've got 3 options: the traditional apprenticeship, learning yourself on YouTube, or doing an online course. So you did the Tattoo Method Pro course, but what made you jump into that rather than the traditional, or just jumping about on YouTube?
I think it was more the structure that I found from yours. The apprenticeship wasn't an option, it couldn't happen. So I did do a bit on YouTube, but there was just I wasn't getting anywhere with it. You know, it just wasn't flowing. And then when I found your 30-day course, the actual structure of going from doing your little line all the way up to, you know what I mean? Going up to like the portrait.
That lesson one that everybody dreads, they've done that much.
And then you've got to do it again and again and again and again. But yeah, that structure of it really, really helped you massively, like increase you.
I think because of the structure, it's the visible results. So YouTube, you can, day one you might be doing shading, then you'll see another video that covers this, so you'll try and learn that, and you end up, instead of going from point A to point B in a straight line, you just jump all over the place and you can't track your progress because it's just jumping all over the place.
I was still working at that point, so I was just doing like late nights and early mornings kind of thing, just fitting it where I could. I really wanted to jump ahead, but just kept with it and kept sticking to the doing one lesson after the next, and it really increased my attack.
So you didn't have every day, all day to work on course? No. If you do every lesson every single day, I think it works out at just over 6 months, isn't it? On average, we found people complete it in around a year. Obviously you had a family to support, a job to work, so in that sort of scenario, how long did it take you?
So it probably took me about like 8 months, 9 months to do it.
Everybody learns at a different pace. We have some people they struggle holding machine. They'll struggle with like basics, and then there's some people that'll watch lesson 1 and they instantly understand it and can apply it straight away. You are 100% going to reach a stage where you think, I need to take that leap. I want to do this full time and I'm ready to quit my job. And it's a scary process to take that leap. Let's just think about any other learning process, whether it's school, university, you're wanting to learn a new language, you might go on a math course, anything, we follow a structured day-by-day program. For some reason, that has never been seen in the tattoo industry. Think about learning on YouTube, you jump all over. The traditional apprenticeship, that artist has not sat down and thought, right, day 1, I'm going to teach this person this. Day 2, I'm going to teach them this. I cannot stress how important it is to progress progressively learn, and the structure and curriculum is the key. Reason why I wanted to come and speak to you is because it's like a perfect success story. Yeah. You've been through the course, you then obviously opened your own studio, which is fucking sick. I like how it's got that personal touch and vibe to it, and it's not like a massive open plan thing, it's like quite homely at the same time. Massive decision. Obviously you've still had all your family to support. When did you get to that point where you thought, right, my job's gone, this is what I'm doing full time, and then what experience, pros and cons of doing that? Then first couple of years, because they're most important.
So like in the beginning, I was doing a little bit and working at the same time, but I could see the amount of money that was coming in from just doing them few little tattoos. So I was like, no, get rid of the old job, get that out of the way, because it becomes in a block then, doesn't it? It becomes, you can't get any more because you're stuck doing that old job. So get rid of the old job and just put everything you've got into the tattooing. The first couple of years, the first year, that were a bit whether or not we could survive kind of thing. If we couldn't just get a couple of tattoos in a week, I'll be all right. And then now, yeah, like 5 to 6 month waiting list.
I'm a massive advocate. Listen, you can be the best artist in the world and not get any customers, and that isn't because you're shit at tattooing, it's because you're not doing the business and marketing effectively. And I'm a massive advocate that the business and marketing is responsible for 80% of the results. Let's see why. So your work is really, really good. Locally, I've done a little bit of research into like your competition. Standard wise, you've not got a great deal of competition around here, have you? But irrespective of that, for them first few years, it's not all about the standard of your work. And this is something, obviously, you learn how to tattoo on the course. You've had a few years experience then running the shop and refining your style, so to speak. And then you've jumped on the mentorship. How did the business and marketing change the business overall?
The tattooing itself, I found not easy, but I really took to it. It was the business side of things that I really struggled with, because I've worked for someone forever. For all my adult life, I've always worked for someone. Coming up and opening my own place, that was what I was really struggling with. But then after you doing your mentorship course, I ended up getting on that. It's just changed my whole look on how you're supposed to run a business kind of thing.
Before that, if I remember rightly, you said you were always roughly around 2 weeks booked up.
Yeah, 1 to 2 weeks. 2 weeks max.
And then within, I think it was by week 11 on the mentorship, just to clarify, how far booked up are you now?
6 months.
And then you've got all the consultations.
And then 2 consultations a day and 1 to 2 tattoos in the day, depending if I do a later night.
And I think that's massively important, because everybody within the tattoo industry, whether you're just learning how to tattoo or you've had a tattoo shop 2 years or even 10, 15 years, irrespective, everybody just focuses on the tattooing alone, and they think to get more customers, to grow and become a better business overall, that the answer is to get better at tattooing. Whereas over these 11 weeks we've not mentioned your tattooing at all. It's just all been business and marketing. And
business is so much more than you ever expect.
Yeah,
like a hell of a lot more.
So I always say, and I like to put a number on things, running a successful tattoo studio is 80% business and marketing and how you run the business, keeping track of key numbers, just the little things, and then 20% the actual tattoo.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think perfect example again coming out to speak to you, because you've gone from being 2 weeks booked up and that was consistent for around 2 years, to then within space of like 2 months, a little bit longer, months and months booked up.
Yeah.
And we've not addressed anything to do with tattooing. Every bit of advice was just the business and the marketing.
Have to boost the socials. As soon as the social media gets boosted, that's it.
I've got absolutely no doubts at all. If you're passionate to become a tattoo artist and have got the drive and want, there's no reason that you can't follow your dream like the thousands of students that have been through my course. So for anybody sat on the fence, because it's nervous for some people thinking, should I do this, shouldn't I do this? Just in one sentence, how's your experience been transitioning from working doing a job that you essentially didn't like or didn't want to do? If anybody sat on the fence, would you say become a tattoo artist?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's very scary. If you don't push yourself, what you're going to be, you're just going to get left behind, aren't you? You're going to be sat in that old job doing what you don't really want to be doing, making hardly any money. Whereas if you just push yourself that little bit more, just keep going and going and going, you can become whatever you want. This is something that I really love and I'm going to be doing it for a long time. Yeah.
Perfect.